Love has a funny way of hiding the darkest truths, often right beneath its brightest, most beautiful moments. The story we're about to tell isn't just about love. It's about something much more primal: desire, jealousy, and the devastating consequences of choices that were never meant to be made. It all starts with three people, two hearts, and one terrible secret. From the outside, their life together looked perfect. They were the three best friends, inseparable. They shared everything: endless laughter, late night talks that stretched until dawn, and those quiet, comfortable moments that seemed so simple and harmless. But love, as we know, is rarely that simple. Let's meet them. The first person was pure charisma. They were charming, confident, magnetic. People just naturally gravitated toward them. Their laughter was infectious, and their smile had a way of making you forget everything else in the world. They were the center of every room they walked into, the sun that everyone else orbited. The second was the complete opposite. In a way, they were gentle, kind, and incredibly thoughtful, a grounding presence. This was the person you went to when your world was falling apart, the one who would listen without judgment and offer a shoulder to lean on. They were the anchor, the calm in any storm. And then there was the third, the quiet observer. They didn't say much, but you could see entire worlds swirling in their eyes. They watched, they listened, they noticed everything. Their silence wasn't empty. It was full of stories that words could never capture. The bond between the first two friends, the charismatic one and the gentle one, began to deepen. It was a natural, beautiful progression. Their friendship started to blossom into something more. It was in the stolen glances across a crowded room, the way their hands would brush against each other, the lingering hugs that lasted just a second too long, and the quiet observer saw it all, every single detail. That's when something inside them shifted. What began as simple admiration, maybe even a little crush, slowly started to curdle. It twisted and transformed into something much darker, an obsession. It wasn't obvious at first, of course. These things rarely are. It was all in the subtleties, a glance that held on for too long, a seemingly innocent comment designed to plant a seed of doubt, small acts of interference, like accidentally interrupting a private conversation. Nothing dramatic, nothing you could point a finger at and call out. But love, when it falls into the wrong hands, becomes a dangerous weapon. Jealousy is a quiet killer. It doesn't announce its arrival. It creeps in, silent and unseen, poisoning everything it touches. And obsession is patient. It can wait for years if it has to. The three of them continued their lives, intertwined in this complicated dance, completely unaware of the storm that was brewing just beneath the surface. The dynamic was changing. Those easy nights filled with laughter started to feel different. They became nights filled with suspicion. A genuine smile was suddenly questioned. Was it real? What did it mean? Simple words were dissected and reinterpreted, twisted into something they were never meant to be. Every small interaction became a test. Every shared look between the other two felt like a threat, a confirmation of betrayal in the observer's mind. And then came the secret, a confession of love, whispered in private. A choice was made. The charismatic one and the gentle one decided to be together. And somehow, the quiet observer found out. In that single, shattering moment, they realized they could never have the person they loved. It was an impossible dream. And in that realization, the darkness that had been quietly growing finally took over completely. The observer's world narrowed. Their focus became singular. Plans were made in the dead of night, in the silence of their own thoughts. Every encounter was watched from a distance. Every movement was noted, cataloged. Every whispered conversation between the new couple was recorded in their mind, replayed over and over again. When the first two were alone, sharing their newfound happiness, The observer was never far behind. They became a shadow, always there, just out of sight, waiting, biding their time, looking for the perfect moment to strike. That moment came one evening under the dark cover of an ordinary night. The tension that had been building for months, simmering just below the surface, finally erupted. It started with a confrontation. Words were exchanged, each one sharper than the last. Accusations flew through the air like daggers. Tears streamed down faces. It was a raw, ugly explosion of jealousy, heartbreak, and rage. And then, violence. A relationship that had been born from the purest friendship and blossomed into love ended in the most brutal way imaginable, in betrayal and in death. When the authorities arrived, the scene they found was devastating. The aftermath of a tragedy fueled by obsession. One life was lost, snuffed out in a moment of rage. Another life was changed forever, now facing the legal consequences of their actions. And the third person, they were left to live with the impossible weight of choices they could never, ever undo. This wasn't just a simple love triangle. It was never just about attraction. It was about possession. It was about fear. It was about the dangerous, toxic belief that love can somehow justify any action, no matter how horrific. This story serves as a chilling reminder. Sometimes, love isn't enough to save us. Sometimes, innocent desire can curdle into a dangerous obsession. And sometimes, the people we hold closest, the ones we think we know inside and out, are capable of the truly unimaginable. Thank you for watching. If this story resonated with you, please like this video, share it with others, and subscribe for more content that explores the deeper, darker side of human nature. We'll see you in the next one.